That's when you have to drive.
Yeah, and when it's full of shit,
Sure,
it's
for me.
kind of hard.
I'd like to amend the agenda to add the approval of the Bible reading on the courthouse lawn the week of January 28th through July 4th. And we will add that down, we'll call it 16A, I guess, as part of our department head discussion. We'll put it in there. Okay, motion to amend the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's need approval of the previous minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, is there
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, we got an agenda. Rich,
Morning. We probably repaired better than most as far as floodland. Got some stuff that we're gonna be shaping up. Just missing gravel mostly and maybe some shoulder work, but I don't think we lost any major. I know we got some pipes that were maybe eroded around and we might find some pipes that might need repair, but I don't think we've got near, obviously we don't have near as bad as what out Western Iowa had, but we'll try to keep track of everything yet still and see where we're at dollar and cents wise. I don't think we lost anything major, so we'll be okay.
The governor did, without even, she did include us in the request for the expedited presidential declaration, so they more than they, especially if they get that, they will be asking for those numbers, so have something.
Is it a combined dollar amount loss or is it per county dollar?
They'll be looking at combined, and I'm sure they've got more than.
They're gonna have more than enough
over that
declare
way, but
FEMA, but I don't know where.
But if they're doing it all, they'll, and Homeland Security in Iowa will have staff that if we have something that's worth, I mean, they'll have the staff to help.
If we don't have a lot, sometimes it's more work just to declare it than it is to just take care of ourselves.
Right, but they'll have the staff to help you fill that paperwork out and get the.
Some more, like some of the smaller towns, I mean, I know Joe's is famous for getting water in basements, does things like that count?
So there's two different things that they're looking at. They're looking at for the public, you know, like publicly owned, as far as government owned and stuff. That's what she's in the 22 counties.
Okay.
Going for that, and then in I think it's 9 counties for individual.
Okay.
And stuff. They did open it up in Worth County if individuals have damage like flooded basements, the car gets flooded or something like that. They did open up the individual assistance on the state level. That's open right now. There's information available online, and I'll have that posted to the EMA website later today where they can go. There are income guidelines. I think it's 200% of the federal poverty level that they have to meet and stuff like that, and that's they apply. They can apply either online or through the local community action, the ones that help process those. And then there's also the disaster case advocate that is open to anybody that lives in the county that has flooding issues that just needs help getting a plan to help recover.
good.
I think we fared pretty good.
I'd say so.
For roads, I think we'll find, we're gonna continue to find stuff. Months down the road, maybe even next year, we won't notice anything until something. And there's a suck hole, it doesn't show up right away, it takes a while, so we'll probably find stuff here and there, but we're finding stuff now from flooding years ago too, so it's just.
Could you include, I mean, I know it's stuff that's just needs to be done, like cleaning out some of these road ditches where they've gotten silted in, which is not the county's actual fault, but I mean, there's ditches that are still, they're over 3/4 full of dirt, which has helped that water go across the road.
Right.
Is that kind of stuff included?
You know, I don't think they're gonna look at it unless it's one of those, I don't know what they call it, an improvement project, but it's hard to determine whether or not that I kind of doubt that'll qualify for any sort of FEMA stuff, but we're always trying to keep on top of those.
Yeah, no, I just know.
It's
that-
just, yeah, it takes
Yeah.
forever to get to everything. But yeah, that does cause some of that stuff too, is if you don't have the. If you don't have the ditches cleaned out, the water can't
Right,
channel itself to a culvert very quickly.
With these disaster declarations comes hazard mitigation funding usually. And so potentially some funding could be used to help pay for
Okay.
cleaning ditches, because I mean. Returning a ditch to its natural state or, normal depth would be a mitigation thing to prevent
Future flooding.
overlapping the roads.
Yeah, it's a lot of it to mitigate just for future.
Yeah, the bigger issue is. Following their guidelines and all the
Well,
other stuff that
it
goes
is.
with it.
sometimes
You
easier
know,
just to get it done on your own, but I mean, it's just, yeah. no,
And yeah, I mean, it's possible. We've never gone through it, so I guess it would be something to look into. Anyway, we fared pretty well. I do have, WHKS had submitted a bunch of, agreements for us, and 390th Street Bridge. Didn't make that first cut. He had sent me the wrong paperwork, so I don't know, Jack, if you had the right one printed or not, but I've got one. Hurdle 65 for a professional services agreement. To do design on that, so
Is there a, and where's that one at?
that's on 390th. That was the one it's closed right now. I know it's a level B road, but I think it takes a lot of it takes quite a bit of traffic.
Well, that should be a break again then.
Well,
You guys do engineering now?
yeah, the agreement's gonna be, phase one is a $30,000 fee to run the hydraulics and do, size type, size it, see if we can do box culvert versus bridge. And then there's a section, alternate one and alternate two, it depends on whether or not it can be a box culvert or a standard bridge. So there's gonna be
Okay,
a $30,000 fee just to get the hydraulics and everything done, and then once they figure that out, it's either 17,700 to do a box culvert design, or it's 26,500 if we have to do a standard bridge. So I'm hoping it's a box culvert. They're a lot quicker, they're easier, and it's for level B road. It might just be all it takes. And once they get the hydraulics done, we might be able to say, look, it's level B road. We can reduce the flooding. There's certain criteria for design on certain qualities of roads. If it's a level B, we don't probably have to design to a higher standard than we would if it was a higher.
okay,
We might be able to just do it that way.
Good.
I'm finding it a lot easier for them to go through all the paperwork for all the department or the termination of effect, all the cultural resources stuff. We're finding it's a lot more efficient for them to do it than for us to try to scramble through it while we're still doing our stuff. So
good.
Anyway, that's what we've got here for approval.
Their motion to enter into a professional service agreement with WHKS on Fertile 65 Bridge.
Make that a motion.
Yeah.
Second it.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Aye, opposed?
I think that's all I've got for you. We'll be spending most of the week picking up the pieces.
Nothing,
Oh,
nothing back on the project.
no, not yet. I did talk to him last week. We'll probably maybe see something this week. I thought maybe we'd see him today, but maybe not. One other thing, the water tower project out there with the one main. They're trying to get, I don't know, with the rain, I don't know where they're at now, but kind of got wet and mucky out there. And after talking to Jason a little bit about it, they wanted to know how to, regrade those ditches. And I said, well, we don't have any grading plans on the ditch. We have the profile for the road. So I said, just grade it culvert to culvert, and make everything flow. And then while they're out there, some of those culverts have been silted in for quite a while. So I think what we're gonna do, and now that we're in kind of take care of our own flood stuff, I got a quote from McKinnis to replace those culverts. We'll supply the pipe. They'll take the old one out, put the other one in, and it's like $30 a foot to do that. We might just say, hey, look, you guys are here, you're doing all this grading. We'll drop the pipe off, you guys put it in. So we might just get it done that way. We'll be done with it, and then we don't have to get in the way and try to phase things and get out of their way. They're there.
Well, they can get it done and we'll do the seeding on it.
Well, even if we've got to dump the rock, whatever,
Yeah.
they're there with their big machines to dig a hole. Let's just have them do it. So I think that's what we're gonna do.
They get that done, ditches graded, and then seed it. And
Everything's done.
Yeah. Oh, sounds
but
like
the
it.
pipes are plugged. Usually somebody the pipe in.
Time to put them in now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So get that drainage, cause I see one of them, they just sent a picture of how it's holding back water, it's got so much crap in it, and. Yeah, we could jet it out, but if it's been plugged for that long, I'm sure that the metal culvert's probably rotten.
Pretty thin.
That's what we're gonna do there too.
Good. All right, you got any questions for Rich then? Okay, thank you. Drainage. What did we had any?
Yeah, we had some claims.
We did bring some claims in. Yeah, we did look at it, or did you guys look at those?
Yes.
Yeah, is there more approved
I'll
claim?
make a note for the drainage.
Yeah, just a second.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye, vote. Motion carried. We do have 2 hearings tomorrow morning. For 14 and 46, I think, so 34. Get those done. Hopefully, when the projects get done, they can get billed out instead of waiting a long time for reclass and all that. All right, anything else drainage? Not, we'll move on to our regular claims. We have a list of pending claims due to the year-end stuff, so. Once those are all ironed out at the end of this week, we'll. So, their motion to approve the pending claims?
I just say claims. because-
Claims.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the claim.
there's a second?
I will second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Opposed, approved.
Let's get the next 3.
No reports, no payroll, no liquor, compensation board. Well, time to do something. Yes, what do you wanna do?
You guys kinda know where I'm at. I can do it myself. I mean, the last. From the records that I've got that go back quite a ways, cause I was on it.
Yep.
But in the last 4 years, I think like 3 years ago, we lowered it by 40%. And then we lowered it by 50, and then we lowered it by 50. And then this year, we decided to use their recommendation, but we still didn't vote unanimously on it. It was 2 against 1, so we still don't agree on it. So I guess my attitude is, if you wanna use them, I think it's fine. If you don't wanna use them, I think that's fine. I think we can do it ourselves. But that's where I kind of stand on. I'm down the middle of the stream on it. I do like the fact of having some input from other people. But I mean, I went out online and you go out to Forbes and you go out to some of these other sites out there, and then you go to COLA and all this kind of stuff. And I'm a big proponent of COLA anyway. I think we've treated them really well. And the other problem I run into is this House File 718. If we end up going in the next 3 years, you might have got your last pay raise this year, depending on what they do down there, which is not very fair.
We don't know, we won't know until.
We-
January, how we're gonna work
Yeah,
valuation.
and we know they're gonna have to do something, because according to their formula, we can't get to 3.5.
Which they just need to do away with the formula and let us get there. If that's what they're gonna do.
Gradually, not all at once.
Throw the foolishness away and just let us work on it. Let us work on it the next 3 years. I mean,
Yeah.
and figure it out, not. We don't need any special regulations.
And I'm a big proponent of COLA. I always have been. The last few years, we haven't been able to use it. But before that, when stuff was like 1.3 and we'd go at 2 or whatever, we always gave a little more than what COLA was. Lately, it hasn't worked out quite that way, We can't have, when you got an 8.7, it doesn't fit the budget. You come in at a 6, you try to be as fair as possible. But, so what do you guys think? I ain't making a call on this thing all the way.
Kind of where you are, we just have to make an act.
Yeah.
Is that what all counties are doing? Is they're deciding now
I guess
before July 1?
The ones I've talked to, they want to keep them for recommender, like say, I've just talked to individual supervisors, so I don't know how the rest, but their intentions are keeping them
For
for
recommendation,
recommendations
and then
and to see.
subject to whatever happens budget wise, I mean.
Right.
I mean, either way, that's what it's gonna be. It doesn't matter if we do it or they do it. I mean, it's just that you at least have a recommendation.
We have a little more flexibility right now. Where we can, we can lower it or we can go above it too. And then I think you can do different. do they all have to be the same percentage?
You can
We
go up or
vary.
down, you can do whatever.
Yeah,
you
Well,
want.
we can do that, but do we have to do if we go up like 1% on this individual, do we have to do it across the board?
That part I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I don't know if I
I
can
just
say,
do up or down.
I mean,
But
It
yeah, you can go
doesn't-
higher, you can go less. I personally think after that meeting that I was at on Friday. And the other meetings that I've been at for the state, where they're doing a 3 across the board. I think Des Moines, I think it's gonna be a moot point, because I think Des Moines is gonna cap it at 3. And you can do less than that, but you can't go over 3.
So they're.
You know, you
they're
guys
gonna-
all read that, you guys heard it down in
Yes,
Des
I
Moines
do.
when they
You're
brought
right,
that
yeah,
up that
I did.
day.
You know, to say that, so I mean,
That's what they're pushing on everything.
Yep,
And
and that's what I found out, the state employees that I got, they got a 3.
so the comp
Like
would
this.
be, the comp would be moved at that point anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be gone in a year or 2 anyway, so.
And you could always, I mean, can you do something else next year if you don't like the way things shake out?
I would assume.
I would assume that you can go back and forth.
You're changing code.
You can go back and forth whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You just, even if you didn't do it now, you could put one together next year.
Hardest part is then you gotta go back out and see new representatives and, you know.
And sometimes that's not so bad either, getting new blood on that,
No,
getting new
but,
ideas. and perspective.
and like Jackie said, maybe there is some that are ready to be done too, which would be, you know.
But yeah, I'm down. If you want to use them, I do. I'm like that in everything. I do like more minds. Get more,
And you
get
make-
more input.
You make the final decision.
Yeah, regardless, so.
And you know, if it's not in the budget, you just
It's
do,
not in the budget.
you just do 0% of the compensation board's recommendations.
Well, couple counties that did that this year already, so.
But I did not check with this. The only time I check with the counties is when they're doing it. I ask them what they comp board came in at there
Yeah.
and what they're gonna do, but I did not
Just
check
a
with them.
couple meetings where we've chatted about it a little bit. We've been talking about it for 4 or 5 years, you know.
Right.
We always talk about it, and it's not really. We still have the job regardless, but I guess I'd be kind of with you, just keep the comp board for now and see what happens.
That's, yeah, but I can go a year by year basis and
So I guess I make that a motion.
motion to, leave the comp board. A part of the. Whatever,
Yeah, whatever.
Leave it alone. leave it alone, continue to use
Leave it
them,
as is.
leave it as is.
How's
Can you
that?
as a
There you
res-
go.
use them as a resource. Okay, there's motion by Mark to leave the accountant compensation board as is. For a second,
I'll second that.
any other discussion on it? Hearing none, let's just do a roll call, Lowberg,
Aye.
maybe,
Aye.
Stone, aye. We will keep the compensation board as is. Is anybody actually up this year? Do we need to reappoint?
Well said.
Not sure who, there was last year too, but I guess they stayed.
But there, just have to look into
There's
that.
gotta be, I mean, somebody's gotta be.
New sheriff will get a chance to elect his own.
His own. Right. So,
Usually, Jackie, you bring it to our attention if we need to get it on board member. I didn't think there was anybody last year.
I don't,
you know, and it'll be an off year. I mean, it seems like whenever there's elections, then there's people that come up. And they should.
right,
Yeah, the next ones are up 25 and 27.
They're coming on. That's interesting.
Yeah, it fluctuates,
all right,
which it should.
I mean, you think they'd almost sometimes fall in election years that way. If somebody wanted a new com board member, they could appoint you.
Well, Dan, if somebody new elected, gets elected new, do they always get the opportunity
I
of,
was supposed to,
that's what I thought too, they had the opportunity.
but both,
Yeah, you get the opportunity at that time to
Okay.
change, if there's a new person coming in. So.
Okay.
Anyway,
sound good?
Yep.
Yeah, building and grounds, well.
I just took the water out.
hey, I got a question, is anybody looking at a garbage can back there? I looked last week one day and
I
it's
dumped
dry
it.
as a bone. Oh, you did, it's still leaking,
No, I dumped the garbage out of it.
It's
all-
Somebody
People are
took the
throwing garbage in.
but it was dry as a bone back there.
It's been dry for a month.
So
They're
that's-
so fixed.
Why don't we get somebody to fix ceiling and make it look decent?
Oh, is that?
But-
It's just their panels.
Do we have them?
Bigger than the ceiling though.
Right, but I mean, if it's,
Going through there for how long? And there's probably all kinds of mold and fun stuff
Cover it
up
up,
there.
there's probably looking into.
Seal it.
I looked up in there, it doesn't look, I don't see any mold or anything like that. It's dry right now. I just thought,
Well,
people
I mean-
come in that back door to the magistrate room and it looks pretty cheesy.
I wonder if there's
But
any.
it's been happening
around
for
here.
years.
Damn it.
That doesn't mean, just because it's ugly for 100 years doesn't mean you don't fix it.
Covered up.
Yeah, covered up.
We put some extensions on downspouts, when the wells were full again, but I think just a little moisture, Judy, in your office, right?
Yeah, the
Terrible.
carpet was all wet at that.
So is it time to get somebody in here and drill them holes out?
We can.
This wouldn't hurt. I mean, it's never been done.
It's never been done.
I've been on here and it probably hasn't been done for 18 years before that. So
There's gotta be somebody out there that'd be willing to drill them holes out. If it hasn't got any place to go,
they just jet them, wouldn't they? They jam.
If you can, yeah.
well, it depends on whether it goes to an outlet or not.
Right.
If it's just
Yeah,
going in the
still, that
ground.
doesn't mean that they haven't silted back in, and if you were to jet them out if you could figure out where the end is, you jet it out, so then basically they're probably just seepage drains is what they are.
That's what I think they are.
Because this whole town's on sand anyway, so.
Does Midwest do that kind of stuff?
No, and I don't know if to look and see, if I looked at them, I want to say they're only maybe a 3 or 4 inch. If it's a 4, like those small back trailers, you could get,
And then,
they got a 3 inch, smaller trailers, they got a 3 inch pipe, you get in there and suck them out.
I would assume it's clay tile,
It is clay tile going
and
out.
so it's bell tile probably, it just goes down
I
so
just-
far away and then it's
Right.
supposed to drain out, but I mean, over time, it's gonna, unless it's capped off on the end, and that would be foolish,
Yeah.
I doubt if it goes to the sewer anyhow.
No, because I don't know that there is much storm sewer in town to
There isn't.
take it.
The storm sewers for the city out here, they just go down in the ground.
So I'm
I
guessing
mean,
that's
it's going
what
into sand anyway.
That's what they've done here, but it does, like I say, it doesn't mean that sand hasn't creeped back in there and doesn't give it as much room to escape,
Yeah. Let's look into somebody cleaning them out.
you
Peterson,
has one.
Peterson's got a smaller trailer that I think it's a 3 inch. Could have him look up. Has he been up here to do that this year already?
Well, usually fall, but
Okay.
no.
Cause I could reach out to him and see, and I'll take a look at those when we're done to see if they are 3 or 4 inch. And
You got the 6 snake family, but if they come on.
you could just to see how far you get into it, but if it's, another thing is if it's got leaves packed up in there blocking.
Right. if they've
Going
been
the
sitting
sand. Then it's not gonna get
there, It's gotta
away.
go down and out.
Yeah.
There's dirt and everything else down there.
Yeah.
Well, now
All
leaves
over the
break
building.
down, it turns into dirt.
Clean it out, clean out the holes, then the auditor don't have to get out there and dig it out.
Should help.
And I think we keep extensions on those
Spouts.
spouts, so
too.
like if they go to fix the one that we're gonna have a look at, we just have them put extensions on there and get the stuff to the sidewalk or so
Get it
it'll
out.
get beyond the building and that'll help a ton too. So, okay, I'll talk to Mike and then we'll wait to see what Midwest says about the gutters down, so.
Then keep an eye on this back here and it stays dry. Let's get somebody in here to fix that ceiling. It can't cost that much.
Just get normal rains now for next month.
The only thing would be matching tiles. I don't know if we have any.
Might have to do the whole thing. It ain't that big area. What
Those
is it?
tiles haven't changed since 1968, so
Other than the material they're made from,
probably got some down here at the lumber.
they took the asbestos out, that was about it. All right, top of my water main, I don't know where that's at, I think. They're may have got hooked into the tower, I think. Oh,
They
they're
got-
really pushing
I went
it
by
right.
there yesterday. And it's
Did they get-
right across
Yeah,
from
that's
the
right,
tower.
you guys pressure tested that, right?
They're pressure testing it today.
Yeah,
We filled
you
the
filled
main.
it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that main's
Okay.
full, and they're doing pressure tests on it now.
Yep.
So they're hooked to that tower.
They're lucky they started when they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it worked out good, so.
I got a question. The central tank coating, we got a bid for $42,000 on that. That's something we gotta do when we get this tower hooked up, so we got water coming.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that'll be on the old tower, so basically once it's all up and running, everything's done out there and that tower is no longer in service. If we have any money left, I think that's what we'll wanna use it for.
well, I think we should have some,
Yeah,
Should have
like I say, we'll
backup.
see,
That's why we were doing this.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
well, this way it's coated and it's a good tower, it'll sit there. If something happens to that one, we can always switch.
but we should have ARP funds still available for
Yeah.
that. Cause that bid came in really reasonable.
Yeah, so hopefully when it's all said and done, we should have some extra to do that, so.
Yep.
All right,
So those two bids or those two bills that I sent you,
Mm-hmm.
do you know where you want those coming out of?
I want them out of ARP. Otherwise, we gotta come up between now and December 31st of this year, we gotta have it earmarked. So we got a bunch of money, there's no use spending county funds if there's ARP funds available out there, and you can use that for this kind of stuff, as far as when I read it.
We're getting it upgraded, we're getting this stuff taken care of, should have been
Yep.
taken care of 3-4 years ago, get it up to snuff.
Yeah, cause there's two smaller ones, there's two bigger ones, right?
Smaller ones, you said, probably just.
If you send a couple of them for the light bulbs, I
Oh,
would just pay those.
yeah,
Yeah.
But when it comes to those other, there was two bills that were fairly large.
I can't remember what they were again.
One was, one of them was the lift station.
Yeah.
No, like the lift station bid of 12,140, I'd say, yeah, use it for that. I don't know what them other two are for.
Okay, one was $1,225 for Vesco,
And I
on-site
just,
service travel. And then.
I just said pay
That's the
those
water
out of
plant
that.
right there.
Yep.
And then 1680 for, Weta King Electric.
Yeah, I just said pay
Oh, that was
those.
just two.
Electrical.
Just pay those. It was the other two bills that you sent out earlier that I said, yeah, take them out of ARP
That's.
That's just me.
for those. Is that in that same email?
That would protect stuff for that.
The North Central Mechanical one for
That-
30,000.
Yep, that.
Yeah.
is-
The air
Yeah,
handler.
I took that one
Good.
out, I think.
Yeah. They, then there's. ARP.
Yeah, you got some air.
Yeah.
stuff down there.
Yeah, North Central Mechanical and the.
A lot easier taking this stuff than trying to 3-4 months from now, figure out where we're gonna use it, the ARP funds.
Yeah.
Might as well use it now.
Just figure out the leftover 10.
Yeah, figure out the leftover. Teresa's got a project. Jim said he might have some projects. So.
That's what it should be, so. Use it up, right? Okay, Melissa she had an appointment today, so she was.
Oh, hey, I got a question.
Okay.
Yeah, she was going to the doctor today.
Yeah.
She sent out an email on this. Agreement that we're making. There's exhibit A and exhibit B. One of them is like the project area, one of them is the property area. And she sent it to Jeff. Somebody needs, and I would think that would be Jeff.
I'm not an attorney.
Yep, Jeff needs to get a description. To
And
do that, to finish out that development agreement, so we can actually get moving on this thing,
And that
cause it's
will,
just hanging out there.
that will be done once it's recorded as the new.
What'll be
But
done,
he's gotta get it done.
but he's gotta get it done, we gotta have a description,
Yeah.
the southwest, northwest,
Yeah.
southeast,
Legal
100 feet over, whatever it is.
Needs its own.
And then it'll go to her office, and then from there. The assessor, and I would imagine Val will get together. And do the rest of it, but we gotta have Jeff,
Legal description. Yeah, and
and I didn't see that he replied. And I sent Melissa an email yesterday. And said, have you heard back from Jeff? And she said, no.
Was it on Friday she sent that out? Or can't remember what day. I remember seeing it this week, but
Doug will probably end up doing it, so.
Well, and I know he's I think he's waiting for a preliminary title opinion to do the deed.
Jeff is.
I think so.
Him and Doug's been doing a lot of it, and they've been working together on it, so.
Okay,
And I know
I
Doug,
just wanna make sure it
and
gets
Doug was
done.
gone for
It
3
seems
days.
like it's time to do it.
Doug was gone for 3 days last week with magistrate school or something, so. That's probably why you didn't see much response from him. Plus, I think the week before he had computer servers all changed, so he had 2 days, of no email, no nothing, so he's kind of. But it's, we said Doug will probably take. The charge on that and make sure it's done.
Okay.
He is, and
I'm just double checking.
whatever work he's doing for us, we'll just get billed for it. And it can come out of Jeff's budget. All right, we'll move on to people service. Taylor, discuss the DNR audit.
Yeah, the DNR audit, there was one thing on the wells that are out by the new water tower. He wanted to know kind of what you guys were planning on doing with them. Like if we're not gonna be using them, they need to be exercised. Oh. So he was just curious on what plans are, otherwise he said he would recommend that they get plugged. So I guess I don't know
I
what,
don't even know if there's pumps in them.
okay,
And I think Jason looked into all that, like on GeoSam to try to find the history on them, and there isn't any information on them.
okay,
So we don't know.
So they're just drilled and they're there, cause I don't think there's power run on.
I don't think there's,
So,
I don't
I
think,
know there's not to the one to the west. I think they got drilled, and
I think that just got drilled.
I think they both got drilled. I don't believe there's anything. I think they're just capped.
there's one to the south unless they.
And we could
break
have-
power.
Maybe when we're to get bids on replacing those pumps.
Okay.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Bigger, so maybe when whoever comes and does that, we'll have them go inspect those.
Okay.
Whoever gets that bid, I know he was gonna go to, try to go with local contractors on replacing those well pumps. We'll have them go inspect them at that time while they're in the area.
Okay.
And to see, cause I've been out there and I don't recall, I think they're just capped. I don't
Yeah,
think
they
they're-
don't look like they're anything. I
we're
mean, I,
not plugging them.
No.
Sorry to say, we're not, we wanna use them.
Yep.
But we'd probably, I guess if we had to, we could probably come up with a temporary way to pump them and just run some water out of them. Just to say we did it. But yeah, I'll talk to Jason on that and we'll coordinate that with whoever gets the well pump change out.
Okay.
On the other side and look through those, so.
I would imagine it's very close water.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Other than that, the inspection went well. I think there was like one minor deficiency. It was, since we don't have any free chlorine up there. Our total's gotta be above a 1.5. I think there was like 25. Over the course of the whole year, so some of it was pre us.
Yeah.
They were under a 1.5. He just broke that down as a minor deficiency. So we'll keep it above that.
Okay. Gotta bump it a little bit.
Yes, yep,
So that's chloraminating then,
yes.
is what's going on.
Yep. So we bumped that chlorine residual up a little bit, so it's should be well above that from here on out.
Okay.
There was also questions about, the hotels have the booster pumps. He just wanted to know if they had, like a 20 PSI shut off. So that if the system pressure drops below that, they'll quit. Oh, they'll quit trying to pump. We'll have to call and stop by and just check those out.
Check with Adam on those.
Yeah.
We were just in there and looked at them too, and with that new tower, they'll probably end up shutting those off.
Okay.
Because they're pumping, they're like 75 PSI, and that's what we're gonna have at that area anyway, so they'll probably end up shutting those off.
Okay.
Or bypassing them, I think, so. Which is good.
Solve that, so.
Do you guys know where we're at on that, pipe inventory? Cause that's supposed to be done by, I think, November or October.
Lead service.
Lead service deal.
Yeah.
I
You
thought-
guys were gonna take
I
care of
thought you guys were taking care of that.
We
yeah.
are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, October 16th or something, they're all due.
Yeah.
And, there's no lead out there. That's too new for lead, but they still gotta go in and just put in what they find in each building. So when they read meters, you just look at the material.
Still gotta go through the steps.
And then just report it, so. Yeah, people's gonna take care of that.
And then the only other thing was Jake wanted to be here, but he couldn't make it. He's down in Swale. The gearbox, the quote, he's working on getting another one. They said it's probably not gonna be able to have it apples to apples to the one that we have. And that's kind of why I want to just have this meeting now to see if it's a possibility to go through with getting the gearbox with the one quote that we have now. Or if we wait 2 weeks for the second one, that's probably not gonna be exactly the same.
It's gotta get fixed.
Yeah.
I'd say
You've
we go
tried,
ahead with the
you've
one we
tried.
got now.
We,
If the other one's not gonna be apples to apples, it doesn't do you get any
Right.
good to get two quotes.
Yeah.
Cause what was it? The other one was gonna fix it, but then they weren't gonna install it, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but you got that Burish
yes,
was gonna replace,
they'll replace everything.
and they install it, right?
Yes,
That was 12,000 something.
I think it was 12.9.
9312.
There's 12 in there.
Yeah, the 12 is the lift station bid.
Okay.
there you go.
Just, Yeah, just do it.
Okay,
We'll,
You need a motion
yeah,
on that?
look, motion to approve the,
I'll make a motion to approve that gearbox.
gearbox replacement.
Yeah.
Second. Okay, any discussion on it? All in favor aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Yeah.
Okay.
Call them, tell them to get it done as soon as they can.
perfect. We just wanted to get that rolling since the air exchange is fixed and everything's getting that way that whole head room should be,
Get that cleaned up and
everything should be, yeah,
be done.
all done kind of at the same time.
So
So
might as well take that out of ARP too.
When it comes through, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Anything else? That's it.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Like I say, we always want two bids just for competitiveness, but sometimes it don't
They're
work
not
that way.
comparing apples to apples.
Yeah,
Doesn't make
and you
any
can't beg the
sense
people
for the
to
record.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not like we didn't try.
So we appreciate that. So you guys got any questions or anything? When we were out there Friday discussing water rates, we went and looked at all the meters and all the casinos facilities anyways.
Yep.
I think we may look at upgrading a few of them because some of them are originals.
Okay.
I know the one in the casino has been updated at some point. I gotta find out when that was. Because it is a newer meter, but just for accuracy and over time, those things they all had moving parts in them, so. So I'm gonna work with. Yeah, I'll just get some pricing from Census. I sent some pictures to Dan last week and he was on vacation, so I'm gonna talk to him this week, so.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of see what it's gonna take and then when that does come through, or if it does, what we decide to do, we'll let you guys know. So.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, thanks, Taylor. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yep.
No, sorry, if you got a minute. I'll wait for the department discussion.
We're there right now.
Okay.
Any department heads?
Well, I have a question, and I was talking with Mark last week or the week before about septics.
Yeah.
When people call in.
Yeah.
Who follows up looking at those if they've gotten done? You guys do, yes, okay,
You gotta be notified, and you probably, it's gonna be done, I would assume.
Yeah.
okay. Well, and we used to, I think I got one report from you guys after you took over after Chris, but I haven't received another report.
Okay,
I know there's been questions out there that people, why am I doing mine? Because I was told to, and the person before me was told to update theirs too, but they didn't. I mean, who then, is that you guys that police that you've got 6 months to put one in?
Like when you sell property.
Yeah.
Isn't it a year?
I don't
Do they have a
know,
whole year to update? I thought,
you,
after somebody buys an acreage or something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know if there's a specific, usually I give them.
a time
A
frame.
year, yeah, I give them a time frame.
And then if it never gets done, then,
Well, then you'd have to kind of force their hand.
okay, cause I got questioned that.
Well, that's the thing. who
Do you
watches.
do that?
Because who knows?
Yeah,
maybe-
I would know, I've sent.
I mean, you force their hand?
Yeah, I sent a letter to, there's just been one instance where. This was, Chris had it set up, they were supposed to install a new system, and I found the paperwork for it, and. Their neighbors called me again saying that they hadn't done anything, so,
So like when property's transferred, I guess, do you guys get that paperwork?
yeah, the time of transfer paperwork, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Yeah, cause
By law, they are supposed to have a DOB and a groundwater.
Mhm.
Depending upon how the groundwater hazard statement is completed. There's on the second page, if it's going to be replaced or it's already been done, they can list permit number on the groundwater hazard statement. But there are times when property is being transferred between families. And that's a sticky situation because if they put the exemption on the transfer deed. That there's, no groundwater hazard, da 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 da. But there's, possibly a DOB, a declaration of value, or there could not be a DOB. It depends on how they. Put information on the deed. Whether it's a quitclaim deed, trustees warranty deed, or warranty deed, there's different types of deeds. But if there's been an exemption put on that deed. That doesn't require the groundwater. Then there's no groundwater hazard statement.
Yeah.
But if there's. Not an exemption, then by law, exemption, you know, the groundwater needs to be completed. And there are, depending upon how that's completed. You know,
The state code says
the
that,
attorneys that process the papers are the ones that complete that groundwater typically. Whether they're completed correctly, that's not my call, I'm not an attorney. So it depends on what's on that transfer document. Is what depends on what they need to file in my office. Because the groundwaters are filed in my office if they are needed.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one that's
Right.
policing, it's not my responsibility.
they just bring it to you.
For the most part, you are getting notified when property's transferred and so
Yeah.
you.
As far as I know, yeah.
So-
check on it.
Cause I've pulled up a few off of Eagle and there are dates there, but I know that they have not done it.
You know, in the winter months, they've always been given.
Yeah,
at
Fine,
times,
right.
you know, 6 months basically is what I think Chris was doing.
Yeah.
Or sometimes up to a year, you know,
yeah.
but it's your responsibility then to follow up.
Property.
Yeah, it was just brought up with me driving through Hamlin Town. Doing my driving and I had a resident ask me, because the city of Hamlin Town, they all have their own set.
Mhm.
And he knew darn well that they have not been updated.
Yeah,
Since
there's,
the property
And I said,
within a
"It's
year.
not us, but I said, I will ask the next time.
City, is that on us or? is that-
Well, so we only have one county sanitarium, which I would assume they do take care of the cities, but I don't know if the process would be the same. Would it go through the city administration?
Yeah, cause Schulbach said no, it wasn't.
I mean,
updated.
you would still see, I would assume property transfer, all even
Yes,
cities go through
yes.
you and you.
Yeah,
So then you should still be getting notified one way or another. When they come.
It-
Same
it
way
all
whether
goes-
it's in the city or out of the city.
Right.
it all goes through Board of Health. Basically, that the,
yes, and I called them
City or
too,
county.
but they said no, they just take the.
Yeah.
Calls and send everything to you guys.
yeah, the time of transfer has to be done, and when that time of
Yes.
transfer is submitted, it goes to. County sanitarian, so that they know it's been done, because we won't let you close on a house if you don't have that paperwork.
Right, no, and that's very true.
Because if
Yeah.
it's not- there's no exception on the deed. We've contacted the attorneys and said, you know, we need a ground hazard statement. And
Yeah,
we
and,
don't record it
And
until
I-
we have that,
um,
unless there's that exception.
yeah, and there's. Family transfer, straight up and down the family tree,
Yes,
estates, foreclosures.
right.
So there's-
You know, that's all exempt
Yes.
from that time, but if they go to sell again, then
Then
it's
it's gonna
gotta
be.
get.
It's exempt from the seller, but whoever buys like even foreclosure.
No,
Don't they have to?
no.
No,
That septic, that type of transfer, that septic is all exempt at
I
that
was
time.
thinking they had like a year to do that.
Nope.
but,
Mm-mm.
okay,
They don't have to, they will have to do it if they go to sell again.
Sell it again.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
then they'll have to do it. No, there's just like 4 things that make it completely exempt at that transfer. At that transfer.
Yeah.
So, and then when basically you can set up an agreement where it's on the seller to update it or do whatever needs to be done unless you guys have an agreement and then you sign off on it. Which is a notarized DNR form. And then it's
Yes,
basically it'd be on the sanitary to go back in 6 months and make sure that thing
to
got,
see the.
because that's
the-
what everybody signed. That was notarized. and-
Yes, yes, and the example that I was using with Mark is, the seller lowered the price, so the buyer. Had money to do
To
it,
do it.
and that's
but
to,
they never did.
Okay.
So, I
but
mean,
it's to the buyer.
pass that
Yeah.
name on to.
Well, and that's why I say, you know, and when we would get that report from Chris, it would always have. Yes, that
They did.
they got the permit for it, but was it ever completed? We never saw that.
Right.
And I just, I just don't want Worth County to get into trouble.
Right.
If there isn't follow-up doing that, which would be through
Probably
you
not
guys.
follow
but-
up to the state either, so.
Well, see, that's just it, but you never know.
Yeah, I guess
I just worry about that.
those questions come, I mean, I just transferred to him and,
Yeah.
and maybe there was another situation why it isn't getting done, maybe, maybe there was a family transfer or foreclosure transfer.
But if they start being.
Right,
Yeah.
But he's following up on.
Yeah.
At least that's the most important thing.
Yeah,
Like,
for.
somebody watching,
Somebody
make sure it's
contacted
getting
you
done.
For a new septic or replacement or whatever. It was a report and I could send it back to you, but you guys had sent me one. Gosh. Shortly after you guys started after this. But I can send it, I'll send it, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that help you?
Yes,
Alright.
and thank you for taking,
Yeah.
trying to take care of the water issue and,
No problem.
but yeah, I walked in, it was like,
Hopefully Mother Nature will help us a little bit more here for a while. And not send any our way. Any other department heads?
It's good. Go ahead, Mark. Okay. So the website I was talking about is disasterrecovery.iowa.gov, where people can go and find. If they need assistance, they can go there and see what's available to them. Also, there's information if they would like to volunteer or donate. There's links to what they can do, that, and then other information on that site. So not only if they need assistance, but if they want to donate or.
You have that out there on your site, Mark,
It will be. Okay.
the county site too.
Yep, everything. On the county's social media management site, put on our, our social media sites.
Okay.
And then just a little update, at the fair, they were having some power issues with, there's the load or the demand was more than what their infrastructure could handle from there. And so we worked out a deal. We were able to use our small diesel generator, put it in service there, and it ran for about 78 hours straight there. And they refueled it with diesel fuel for us, and it worked great. It was a good learning experience and education for me to see, what it's capable of. And
You got exercised.
yes, and it
We needed to be
worked.
ran.
Yeah, it's good for that. And so too, it's a tier 4 diesel, so working it under load is good. When you just run it without any load, that's not good on them. So it was running anywhere from 7% of the load at the minimum to up to, I think that the highest I saw was like 68% of the capacity. So
We got work done.
Yep.
Good.
No flaws.
Good.
And it's back in service, ready to go for the next one.
It's good to know if we would ever get it. Good deal. That it? Yeah. Jim?
Well, it's good to hear that you guys might still need some ARP projects. I got told last week that our geothermal system, we're running on Band-Aids. So
At
Keenan's. On the shelter house there.
Okay.
Which
Be a good project.
this is the second system that's been put in. We got a couple contractors looking at it to see if geothermal is still the way to go, or if we're just better off going with like the mini splits. We're having a look at the one thing that makes the system still a decent system there is that it's a closed system.
Right.
So it's got, there's nothing bad for contaminants coming back into the system, and that's why we stuck with it 15 or 16 years ago, whenever it was that we.
You got your life on it.
Yeah, we got our life.
About it.
We got our life out of it. I mean, Warrington said when he came and looked at it, he's like, well, they don't even make this brand anymore. They've been for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know.
yeah,
And you
But-
bought it.
But we're living on borrowed time is what he thinks. So we got a couple contractors looking at it. So that may be something that I come back with here.
yeah, I personally, I know, I've never been a big fan of them, but some people have had real good luck with them. Nikon's got one, and that has been a nightmare for them. They've got it going where it's decent, but it's still just a lot of maintenance, a lot of moving parts, but
I did my house, plumber said, no, you don't do that.
yeah, it was good. It was a good idea at the time, I think, but it's,
In back when the system was put in originally, Keenan's was on Alliant, and we were supposed to get all these kickbacks from it. Well, then they changed it, because we were supposed to only run on off-peak power. Well, then they changed it right away, and we were paying out the most energy wise for it. And so that's where, like I said, we got a couple different contractors looking at different ways just to see. So it might not be a big project, it might be a big project. I don't know.
I'd look at, I guess, if it's feasible to repair it, continue to use it. But also look at alternative.
Yeah.
See what the cost is between the 2 or 3 options and go from there, but
But if we are on the ARP thing, if we are looking at other projects, when just where we're at $7 wise for the county, because since within this the upcoming budget cycle starting here in a couple of weeks, you know, we gave up our maintenance money. Well, that's to re-roof shelter houses and things like that. And I know there's some that in the next 5 years could use it, but if we're looking to earmark it, we can just start doing some of that, just having some of those things taken care of. But
Sooner than later.
yeah,
We'll know more when that. These bills. come
Right.
in.
and
Yeah.
that's just it. Like I said, I'm not in any hurry. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
If we get into late July, we should have a pretty good idea. We should be pretty well wrapped up. And what all that's gonna cost us, so. Right, we'll have a better idea, I think, in another month.
And we got 100,000 of LATCF funds. That we can use any place we want to.
Okay.
We just can't
Can't lobby.
we can't lobby,
Awesome.
so I don't know. Yeah, so that's out there too.
Rich and I have been going through plans and stuff for the building, just dragging shapes around on the map, trying to make things fit and flow the best that we can do, so. We're still plugging with it.
Hopefully we can get some budget numbers soon and maybe we can get something going. Anybody else? Department head wise?
I appreciate the lawn getting mowed, not during business hours.
It's nice. Listen to them.
It's good. So,
I'm not sure when you mowed it last week, looked decent this morning yet.
Yeah. See,
Considering all the rain.
what's the Thursday, Friday? What's your
I
Friday?
guess they must have slipped in there.
This weekend,
It was this week.
Oh, that's okay.
He does it after. That's good.
What about the cleaning?
We're working.
I have somebody coming in today to at least do bathroom. I think she's coming in today, but she was there all last week and you know how much of a mess that was, so.
And she's gonna touch base with all the different departments to
Yeah,
figure out,
when we get going.
yeah. Is that Jessica?
And Sheila's contract. Not, okay, not important.
Yeah, this is a cleaning.
In progress. Really? Oh, he's getting close to retirement. He's got his mouth shut.
Oh.
All right.
Sam, how are you doing on the tablets going in these vehicles?
It should be all in service. Yeah, mine's not working. Well, you don't work anyways. Oh, I'm using my old one.
Are you?
Yeah, it's black screen, something not working on it.
I'll get with that. I think I know what's happening.
Anybody else got that problem?
I don't know.
I
Okay,
think, yeah, we've touched everybody's for the most part. There was an issue where when it was in the dock, it wouldn't boot properly. I had to go into settings and disable some things, so I haven't done his on that, I don't.
I seen the bill go through in the claims there a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Did that include the mounts?
Yes.
Yeah, that part of the claims that was Keltec, they did a really good job. This is more on the software stuff going into it now.
Yeah. Yeah, Keltec's done, they did a great job getting everything installed. Every radio, every cellular gateway, they call it, has a password on the sticker on the gateway. And they installed those and they didn't bother writing down those passwords or anything for them. So I had to go back into every car, pull the seats down or wherever I could and find that gateway to get that password. I'm like, you could just put that on a spreadsheet for me. It's so nice.
And all the docking stations are in, the only thing we're waiting on is the install for the transport vehicle.
Yeah,
But the majority of the bills have been paid.
yes, I don't think we paid for the docking stations yet. I'll have to get that bill. I don't know if I've seen it yet.
I'm just trying to get it on this fiscal year.
Right, yep.
Next is our amended item. We've been formally asked to allow Bible reading on the courthouse lawn like we do every year. From June 28th through July 4th. Is there a motion to approve the Bible reading?
I will make that a motion.
There's a second.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the motion carries. Okay, Supervisor Weekly, yes.
I had an advisory board meeting, which is, we kind of went to with the second district Iowa Department of Corrections on Friday down in Webster City. And, the director just gave us, there's still changes going on, gave us an update of what's going on, how well it's working out. We had the financials done. One of the things that they're doing is kind of like what you mentioned with Northwest, where they're getting down. They won't let you have much carryover because there was years where we couldn't have carryover, and then there's years we had carryover. And we had like 52 or 56,000 of carryover. And then they found out in these 8 districts in the state of Iowa, in the total, there was 7 million. So there was a little more, so they kind of split that up, so we got money there, but. One of the biggest thing they notice is, like, they're doing the geothermal deal down at one that's been out of date for years. And they thought it was gonna be 300 some thousand, the bid came in at 600 some thousand. And they're finding out that the state's finding out that it's gonna cost them a lot more. They're gonna have to divvy up some more funds here to keep these buildings going. So that was the eye opener for the state. But I mean, it's their building, so you might as well keep them up. But yeah, other than that, it was just kind of an update. In the future, they're gonna zoom them. So
No more traveling.
no more traveling. You can if you want to, but they're not paying mileage anymore as of July 1st of this year. So, and I think you're gonna find a lot of places going to that.
Yes.
So that's basically what I had that meeting.
I have nothing.
Oh, I do have another question. Roger Rusty called me about this subdivision of you, and I called her and she sent out all the emails.
Yeah.
We're trying to get that thing. Anyway, I just was wondering if you guys looked at those emails and.
It looks just as confusing as it was, what, 6 months ago you brought those? Last year, it's been that long,
They engaged a different lawyer.
so hopefully they'll get somewhere this time
I'm not saying nothing.
for you guys.
I don't know. I gave all the originals back to Jeffrey, John gave rest.
Well, hopefully it'll get done here because he told me he had like 3 or 4 of them sold.
When she contacted me, she had 2 lots,
So,
so
and he said now I know there is 3, either 3 or 4, so.
she couldn't find the subdivision. I said, well, because it hasn't been,
It's never been done.
so it's in someone else's court.
I was gonna say, it's not in your court, it's not in our court, it's not. Anyways.
And we've just got.
Roger just wanted to get the ball rolling.
you got
What's that?
We've just gotten 2 addresses for out
But-
there.
Yeah, well, that's
For
easy
911,
for you.
Can't tell you where it's at, but yeah.
It's out there somewhere.
No, I know.
I said somewhere.
That's where the sign's at.
That's where the sign's at, exactly.
But yeah, I just want to let you know that we need to move forward on that now, and there's a new attorney involved, so.
They need to move forward,
Yeah.
and it'll move through
Yeah.
here pretty rapidly, I think,
Right.
when it gets here, so.
Yeah.
It's gotta go through zoning and you guys.
You're right, which zoning can't act on, so.
But I mean, we talked about this 6-8 months ago. didn't we? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been going on since last year at this time, right?
It's- I remember it.
So,
Okay. You didn't have nothing?
I didn't know.
I had NICOG meeting Wednesday. We just went through budget stuff. We did sign into agreement with Enterprise Van Pool. So Enterprise has a thing where they bring in you lease a van, one of those just regular vans. Now I guess they haul up 8 or 10 people and try to utilize that to basically start a van pool going for employees who used to get to work instead of everybody driving. So if they're driving to Winnebago, Sukup, Stellar, anywhere around the region, they can all pool in, and it costs them like $200 a month.
They had those years ago, Winnebago used to do it, didn't they?
Yeah, and I don't know.
I mean, we're talking years ago now, but.
Yeah,
you mean when they took it from Osage all the way over?
Yeah, that'd be one, that I remember.
and so I don't know what
That's the one I remember.
has ever happened with that, but anyways, we signed an agreement to get up to 10 of them. Just kind of as needed, we get more and more, but they supply the vans, the maintenance, the insurance. It all goes through NICOG so that our ridership will go up.
Right.
Which means the more riders we have, the more funding we get through the federal government. And our ridership's been down. And it's really dropped since COVID. It's coming back up a little bit, but it's way down and that just affects your funding. So they're trying to get more riders. So this way, hopefully some of these, and they were at a meeting, North Iowa Corridor meeting, Berta was at with some other people there, and there's some businesses very interested because then they can get transport people cheaper to go to work. I mean, if I had to pay $200 a month to go to work every day, that's a significant savings of if you're traveling 30-40 miles. So we do have that agreement going. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of the vans pop up. And see what happens there. So sounds like a good deal and good. Unfortunately, we gotta wait about a year and a half or 2 years for the funding to come back through, but it will definitely help the future of the ridership. I hope.
Out there.
Huh?
Get her out there.
Yeah. Right.
I hope they'll talk to them. That's a
Yeah.
Possibility too.
Cause if they, cause right now they do drop some people individually here and there. If people ride the buses to work every day.
Yep.
In Mason City or surrounding areas into Mason City, and they just don't want it to get to be where they're taking a full bus. So if they get this van full going, then
They can do that.
yeah. And actually Latimer, their Mark is from Latimer. It's on our executive committee. They got a group that goes to Eagle Grove to Preston.
All the prestige.
Yeah, so he was wondering, Eagle Grove gets out of our area, out of the NICOG area, but the van is, if it's based on Latimer, and we can do that. So
Yeah.
he's thinking there may be a van or two that goes down there to transport to that. So hopefully it all works out.
Sure.
And yeah, can boost the ridership. So that all went pretty well. And we did get everything is 100% finalized now with insurance. So my cog is now on the city of Mason City's insurance.
Okay.
So helping save some dollars there instead of being a small group. Being large plan hikes or health insurance.
No,
Health insurance, yep.
they're struggling.
Yep. So they're on there and it actually boosted Mason City's numbers to get them into a better rates on certain things. And help NICOG, so it was kind of a win-win for everybody. And then I did meet with Jason, Petersburg and representatives out there at the casino. None of the other businesses came to meet, but we discussed water rates and where we're gonna be going. So once we get through this month, that'll get us through this last year, so we'll use those 3 years numbers and actually get our rates set. But he's got it more than how much it was gonna go up. The water side, we're doing okay. It will be a slight increase. Wastewater will be the larger increase. And then now the casino owns the hotel. So they were working their way down. They were at 76% at one time and they were gonna be 64% of the water usage out there. Now they're up to 84% because they just took the hotel. So they're paying for hotel, the casino, the gas station, the welcome center. We had a discussion on that. That was DOT welcome center at one time, ended up a county thing. Somewhere in there, there's a 30-year agreement. That comes up, Jean told us comes up in 4 years because she's been there 26 years. Anyways, they're trying to figure out how the casino ended up paying for the utilities. Well, they had that lagoon where development is south there.
Yep.
So the casino came in, they needed wastewater. So Welcome Center gave that to them for $1. So they had wastewater and pay our utilities for
First
30 years.
30 or something.
Or what, I don't know how long term is. And
Forever.
we're trying to find a contract. So that was back in 06 or whatever when the casino was built. Well, since then, that's all changed. That's gone.
Right.
The casino sold us that property
Yes.
for $1. So we're wondering where any of these agreements even stand anymore, how that's gonna play out. So it's Scott Smith, I'm sure we'll be talking some more on that stuff, but yeah, that's how it worked out, that they ended up paying for all the utilities out there, was in the trade for the lagoon at the time the casino was built, so.
Then it reversed and came back.
Yeah, and then, then you get, Xenia was involved and they went bankrupt, now the county gets involved, and then, so that land came back, the county owns, yeah, it's
Nightmare.
it's kind of a nightmare out there, but I think, something will be getting. We'll just have to see where all these agreements are and where they actually stand, and,
Good part is there's only 4 years left on that contract of 30 years.
yeah,
It's to the tail end.
yeah, and that's the one with the state. between the. Of it's county and the state or the welcome center, because that was the same time that when Rebecca was kind of forming at that time when all that went through. And you know, so I don't know. More to learn on that, I guess, so we'll see what information we come up with, but it sounds, it's like a headache out there right now. But anyways, they're aware, so they're prepared when we see that this June now, when we see the end of that, we'll be able to get the numbers actually set and try to get them in place by like September, we told them.
And then going forward, will they assess the rates yearly instead
I
of
think
waiting so long?
We'll put that in our ordinance, because we'll have to update the ordinance, and then we can just put small increases in there. So that you could put a 4 or 5 year plan out there that it's gonna increase. Close to 5%, whatever
It is, yeah.
over the next few years, just kind of follow the trend, so.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be.
so that'll all come through here, we have to update you, that'll be a public hearing and. Whole 9 yards, but it's just that group out there, they all know about it, so.
Can that allow for capital that pops up and stuff like that too? Do they share in the cost of that or not? It doesn't work that way.
It's in the rates, so Jason has put, you know, we knew like the water tower is gonna need to be redone. You know, the little tower, so some of that stuff is built in there, and that's kind of what our reserve funds are for, as long as we can operate. Within our operating portions, then our reserves kind of as our capital improvements, you know, when we gotta put some, but there's money in there for that so much a year on this increase to just go into capital improvement, so. So. That's all I have. Got it figured out, I think, so. All right, tomorrow we've got drainage. Yep.
7 o'clock.
9, 9:15, 10. Yep. So
Time is the DD 14.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
That's the, yep, annexation, annexation at 9 and pre-class at 9:15.
Okay.
Looks wet down there. Come up there, Florida, there's a lot of water standing around down there.
It's like the tile doesn't function in some places.
At all. It even gets north up into like Gordon's, it's ugly, that's gonna,
Always been down there.
it's gonna be a
Hopefully this will
well-made
fix it.
tile.
See, and this doesn't look anything, this is still better than 2008.
Really,
Yeah, oh yeah, 2008 was,
way bad.
it was ugly there.
Well,
We never went over the road, but the field out next to the pits was knee deep water. Mhm. You could ran a boat anywhere on the property essentially, other than right where you pull the gate.
wow. So, yeah, that's gonna happen this fall.
Okay.
I think after crops come out, they're gonna,
I think that's his plan.
because they're working with. It's taken, that gives them more time to get the railroad situation figured out, and then when the crops are out, they'll come in and bore everything and then connect it also, but that's the way it was going. So,
Talking about agenda stuff,
Yeah.
would you be willing to bump the July 15th meeting to Tuesday, July 16th? Cause I have a tabletop exercise for elections that they decided to do on a Monday. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here.
Just,
you
I
know,
mean, all I really like is.
And then the next one, we won't have it.
right, he's gonna be gone anyway, so
Fun with that.
that's fine.
Okay.
Rich, Rich will be in Mitchell, but if he has anything he needs done, we'll just leave it with us, but. I'm sure he should be caught up.
Thank you.
Tuesday,
Or
16th.
16th, and I'll switch it everywhere, so you guys.
we'll get the notification, the invite. Calendar invite. Okay, anything else for future agenda? Are we good for now? There's nothing else. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
No second.
All in favor, aye.
Um,
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
future physical. Set up.
August.
You called up and got him in August? Up here?
Did you hear about get seen those?
Well, physical.
I go to Mason City.
You can't get
I
it.
thought you said you went up here. I normally call the first part of June and I skipped it because I went to Canada fishing for a week. So I called
It needs to be.
November 26th.
Oh, wow.
No, you're
I
out.
had to switch doctors.
Yeah,
So then So then Jolene said, well, let's use your heart specialist. So I called down there. They're both cardiologists. Her and her husband moved to Florida. I said, this is ridiculous. I went to Mayo. Can we use Mayo?
Yeah.
I just found out my doctor's moving, she's leaving in August, sometime going to the mat.
I've had my physical done there every year all my life. I've always called the first part of the,
Oh, sorry.
about 6 weeks in advance, always got one. I blame the county for this.
Oh, yeah.
I got off the phone and I went,